Manchester United have advanced in talks to sign Carlos Baleba. Now, this is the player I wanted, and this is the profile we exactly needed, man. I was crying out for a midfielder who's got legs. We need legs in that midfield. Yes, we've got Tielemans, we've got Andre Santos, we've got Kobe Mano, good players, but we're going to need a player who's going to have the legs and the tenacity to help us going back and to help us all around the pitch. And I feel like Carlos Baleba's is this player, man. What a player. This is a very, very good signing. I don't think people understand. Now, yes, last season he didn't have the greatest of seasons. I understand that. But we got to understand that when players are young, when players are below the age of 23, they're very, very inconsistent. They could have a 6 season, 1 season, and the next season they might have a little bit of an off season, bro. But at the end of the day, we cannot forget that this guy's a baller. That season, that 2024-2025 season that he showed us, this guy's a baller. Very, very strong, very, very tenacious all around the pitch. You know, he's got that speed and he's got that tenacity to win the ball almost all over the pitch in the midfield and the attack defensively. He's got that burst of pace, that burst of energy going forward, that engine. And I like the way he drags the ball wide and he's almost got that like, it's not even necessarily speed. He's got like the speed, the strength, just the resistance to just run with the ball and to not lose it, and that is very, very important for us, man. And let's be real, he's just a baller, man. Like, we've all played football at a decent level. Like, no one likes the guy who's just everywhere. He's just willing to collect the ball everywhere. Who's on elbowing rib cages, elbowing necks, like he don't give a crap. And that is Baleba, bro. Like, this guy is an animal in the midfield. And he's only what, 22. So this is someone who, yes, he's had a poor season. He had a poor season last season, but again, the season he had before that, like, this is a player who potentially, looking at the big players who are in our team, the big names like the Bruno Fernandezes, he's coming into a team that has Bruno Fernandes, Mateus Cunha, Brian and Mbemo, all these big players. So obviously he's going to want to perform higher. He's going to perform at a higher level. But he's only 22. So he's got many, many years to come and many, many years to improve. But right now, he's that midfielder that we needed, man. And as I've mentioned, you know, Yuri Tielemans, he's the midfielder that we've got. Now we've got four solid, good midfielders. We've got midfield depth. So Yuri Tielemans, he's that midfielder who's going to progress the ball forward. He's got a very, very good passing range going forward. Andre Santos is that midfielder who's gonna pick up the ball from deep. He's gonna pick out the interceptions. He's gonna cover the ground and play line breaking passes going forward. Kobe Mano is that midfielder who's gonna have the ball. He's very good when it comes to dribbling, very technically good. He's gonna keep the ball well and he's gonna collect the ball from the first line of press. And then now we've got Carlos Baleba. He's just gonna have that tenacity and that pace and that athleticism and that strength to win the ball from all angles of the pitch and to have that engine going forward. And this is a very, very good signing because of that. And if I'm being real, it's gonna be crazy to see how we line up next season, because potentially with the depth we've got, like, I see every other player that I've mentioned kind of playing with each other, like, in a way. Like, I see Tielemans playing with Baleba in a way. I see Kobe Mano playing with Andre Santos, Kobe Mano playing with Baleba, potentially Baleba playing with Andre Santos if Baleba was to kind of be in that position, that 8 role where he can drive the ball forward. So, like, we're stacked when it comes to this. And if I'm being real, this is just the signing that I wanted. Like, I've been crying out for this signing for time and time and time. So the fact that we got it right now, it's like, this is much respects to Ineos. But obviously with Baleba, he's potentially injured for the next couple of weeks. He had an ankle injury, so he's probably injured for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So it's gonna take time for him to slowly get into the squad. But now that we've got four midfielders complete, like our midfield stat, and we got a midfield that can really help us in every single competition that we're in. And this is what I was crying out for from the beginning of the transfer window, even the past week or two. Like, we've got the midfielders we got. I've got no issue with the midfielders we got, but we need different profile. We needed that profile, that Carlos Baleba profile in that 6 role. And now we're seeing that our midfield right now is a very, very balanced midfield. Everyone's got something different. Everyone's providing something different. So this is something that can help us a lot next season. And Carlos Baleba, bro, like, again, just mad young. Like this is a player who's got that level that he can improve as time goes on. And yes, at times, one thing that I'll say about Carlos Baleba, which he needs to improve on, is that at times when he's driving the ball forward, he can kind of get caught out and it can kind of be peak. And it happened a couple of times last season. But obviously, with years and years to come, and with more months and with more experience, he'll probably pick out different better habits in his football. But for now, this is a player that is going to improve us, man. And our midfield has improved a lot. Now I feel like with Ineos, if I'm being real, I was very, very close to dropping a video asking like where are the signings? I was at that level, I was at that point of straight rage. Like I was like, where are the signings? What's happening in the transfer window? Why have we not made a signing in a month? But the fact that, they came out with this signing, I feel like Ineos, they deserve that level of patience, because even the three signings that we got right now, they they're good signings. They're good signings, and they're signings that have strengthened our midfield and have strengthened the overall team. Now we just need to hold out for a left back. Me personally, I'm not very, very, very fond of the left back market. Obviously, I know Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall was a left back that I wanted us to get, from day one, from the beginning of the window. But obviously, right now, it doesn't look like we're going to get him. So as long as we have, I know it sounds very, very per se and it sounds touche, but as long as you have a left back who's just good on the ball, can progress the ball forward, is good defensively, is good when it comes to inverting, and can have a level of ball keeping ability, I feel like that's that. I feel like we'll be sorted. And if we're being real, them four players, like that's a good transfer window. That is a good transfer window, and the fact that we couldn't really get rid of Marcus Rashford, so we had to keep him. That is a good transfer window. I'm not really trying to hear it like that. Like, yes, we probably could have got another centre back. That's a cause for concern, because obviously I know he's back training right now, but Lisandro Martinez is tended to get injured. He's tended to get injured a lot frequently throughout the season. Harry Maguire is a squad player at most. Aiden Heaven, Lenny Euro, are they going to be starters next season? It's always all a bit blasé when it comes to that. But I feel like for the most part, like the transfers that we've brought in so far have been good and have been impressive in yours, if I'm being real. And after we fumbled on Mateus Fernandez, I was kind of a bit I wouldn't say a bit negative, but I'd say like I was a bit blinded about what was going to happen in the future. But the fact that we came back, with Andre Santos and Tielemans, I literally preferred that midfield, getting them two midfielders, than getting a Mateus Fernandez and Edison, because now that we've got Andre Santos, Yuri Tielemans, Carlos Baleba, these are all players who have played within the league. They've got that level of experience, like they know they know the speed, they know the intensity of the league, they know the physicality. And bro, let's be honest, like these are players that have, like Carlos Baleba is a very, very physical midfielder, very physical midfielder. So he's someone who can help us when we're playing in the more physical games, and obviously he's got that pace, so he can help us going back. And again, it's just very, very good to have that experience, especially in the midfield. It's good to have four midfielders who are all experienced within the league, who've all played their fair dues, their fair games, and have played their best level of football within the league. And it's good for us going forward, man. If I'm being real, next season it's going to be a bit difficult, because obviously Carlos Baleba is going to play, what I think, like by like October or something, or by late or mid September. So in terms of our midfield pivot, it's going to be quite difficult to pick out who's going to play. But I feel like Kobe Mano and Andre Santos is that midfield pivot that we probably need, because Andre Santos, we know, he's that six. He's going to sit in deep. He's gonna cover the pitch. And Kobe Man was that player who's going to link us between the defense and the attack, and is going to provide them balls forward, and is going to keep the ball well. So I feel like that's the midfield that's going to help us until Baleba comes back. But again, we can have Yuri Tielemans playing with Kobe Mano and with Kobe Mano. We can have Yuri Tielemans playing with Santos. So it's something that we're gonna have to wait and see, man. But for the most part, Carlos Baleba to Manchester United. Newcastle try to say they're interested in him, allow it, bro. Newcastle have been getting few chained by us. Last two transfer windows, we've been bullying these, man, bro. Like, if you're a Newcastle fan, sorry, bro, but we had to grab our player, man. Carlos Baleba was our player. And yes, one thing about the other midfielders we're linked with, with Sander, I think we're linked with Sander Berge And I did like Sander Budge, you know. I did like the fact that he is willing to have that tenacity going back, but it's not to the level of a Baleba, man. Just having that engine going back and having that tenacity all over the pitch. That's something that we need, man. And that's something that's gonna improve our team a lot, man. But for the most part, let me know what you lot think in the comments. Man United fans, stay gas for the rest of the day. Never forget we stand Baleba, bro. Stay gas. And yeah, man, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.